Hey there, welcome back to Reddit Dating, the best channel for Reddit cheating stories. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more stories like these. Now, let's get into the video.
Discovered mom's affair with business partner. Basically what the title says. My parents have been together for 30 years and have 3 children. They had the best marriage I've ever seen. I live with my so but am freshly out of college. My younger brother found text messages between my mom and her partner. He sent them to me and I confronted her. She was devastated that we knew, and said it had been a short non-emotional fling for a few months in 2015. Then they were considering starting it back up. I told her she needs to tell my dad because my little brother can't deal with having this on his conscience. To be honest, neither can I. I'm so distraught. My mom and her business partner were both married with children. The business was very family style. I interned with them several times. This whole time it was happening under my own nose. I was seeing them in weekly meetings and I never knew. My mom was my best friend. I am so worried for my father and my family. If I'm being honest and selfish, I just feel like I was betrayed by the most important person in the world to me. We had their family over for birthday parties, BBQs, etc. I feel like she made me be complicit in her cheating. I should have known. She's trying to put off telling my dad. I gave her the weekend. And her business/affair partner and I talked. He begged me not to tell. I told him he can tell his wife or I will. I'm so heartbroken. I don't know what advice I need, but thanks for reading my rant. Update. I'm not really sure how to make sure everyone that wanted to gets an update on this, but here's my most recent update here. Thank you all for your kind words, advice, and awards. I never expected to find so much support, and a few crazy trolls, in this sub. It helped me through a really hard time. My thoughts go out for anyone who is living in a similar situation. Anyway, my mom told my dad and her business partner told his wife. I gave her 3 days after I found out. Some of you wanted me to paint the city red and destroy my mom's life as well as my own. I don't hate my mom, and she doesn't deserve to be public ally crucified. I felt that the information should come from her, not from me. Obviously my dad was, insert all appropriate feelings here. He was even more disappointed that my brother and I had gotten dragged into this. He assured us that he loves us and this will not change our relationship, which I was a bit worried about because we've been historically closer to mom. My mom knows what she did was horrible. She is begging for forgiveness and doing everything right. I am taking some time away from talking to her. I believe my brother and father are also taking some time alone to think. Everyone is seeking individual therapy, and couple or family counseling is in the near future. I don't know if my parents will stay together, but I do know they are both hesitant to throw out a 30-year relationship. I believe my mom told the truth as I still have and made clear I was willing to show all evidence. This has been so hard for my family, and will continue to be as we all work through a pretty traumatic situation. Thank you for all your kind words and support. I would advise to honestly not put too much into Reddit, because I did get some ridiculous suggestions. But in a moment of loneliness and desperation, I really appreciated the messages. Edit. Also what's going on with the business. I believe her partner is supposed to resign. If not, I'm assuming he will take a much smaller role in running the company. That's still an extremely tense point for me, but I have no say in it right now. Story 2. Caught my wife 29 female cheating on me 29 male again after a year. Why do I question my own sanity? Hello everyone, this is my first post here and I just wanted to share, gather some opinions, and vent since I have no other channel available to me right now that gives me this opportunity, so I really appreciate to every single one of you who decides to read and share their honest thoughts from an outside perspective. Background: I'm 29M, wife, 29F, and we have 2 beautiful girls under 4 years old. Bear in mind my wife suffers from depression. At one point, was hospitalized and was diagnosed as being suicidal. She takes medication, or at least should be taking medication as instructed. Story: I caught my wife having an affair back in December 2020. I didn't find out until a month later, January 2022, when my 2-year-old daughter gave me my wife's cell phone since it was out in the open in the living room. The lights popped up due to an incoming text message. The moment I got the phone, I noticed the text message said "I love you." I recognized the name, it was a close friend of hers, and my heart dropped. Not from that message alone, but the messages that were exchanged before. I was filled with anger, shock, disappointment, and darkness. I couldn't believe I was experiencing what I consider a nightmare. When I confronted my wife with her phone, I asked her, "What is this? What is going on?" I kid you not, the first thing that comes out of her mouth is, "Why are you even looking at my phone?" From there, I was even more angry than before. Could not believe what came out of her mouth. She didn't feel sorry until further down our conversation. However, now that I think about it, her sorry wasn't sincere, the fact that I had to dig it out of her. Even then, it's not how I would act at all if I was in her position. Anyhow, she tells me her side of the story and confirmed she had sexual intercourse with this guy on multiple occasions. She emphasized that she was super depressed, wasn't happy at the house, and that I wasn't giving what she needed, nor was I truly listening to her for a while. In general, she tried to play the victim and blame me for her actions. Of course, I did not know how to react knowing what I know now, so I took the blame like a fool. I literally blamed myself for her cheating. Devastation and heartbreaking doesn't come close to how I felt, and how I feel now just thinking about it. I do not wish this type of behavior on anyone. Fast forward 1 month later, I decided that I wanted to continue our relationship and try to reconcile, but the only way for it to work was for her to break the affair and block this guy from all forms of social media outlets, messaging apps, etc. Literally erase this home wrecker from our family. She did that, and I was there when she made the phone call and blocking him on all social media outlets. A year passes, and while we had some rocky moments, I felt like things were getting better. We continued to see a couples therapist once a week, and that lasted for 6 to 7 months. We ended the sessions thinking we no longer needed them and continued to practice what we gathered from the sessions. It's now February 2022 on a Saturday morning. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. to feed our cat. I go back to our bedroom and noticed her phone was out next to her. I simply wanted to close the phone and get back to sleep, but noticed it was the AP's username. I could not believe what I saw. I paused for a moment thinking this was all but a nightmare. I didn't scroll through the messages because that was more than enough for me. Everything that I thought ended a year ago all came back flashing before my eyes. This time, I was calm, collective, and didn't shoot or scream in anger like I did the first time. I woke her up and asked, "Who is this? What's going on?" She didn't say a word for 5 to 10 minutes. It was complete silence. She then proceeds to explain that once again she wasn't happy, felt depressed, and didn't really stop having feelings for this guy. However, he only reached out to check up on me to make sure I was alive. At that point, I just couldn't trust what she said at all. The second chance, the little trust one still had for her, spat right back into my face. From there, she didn't apologize right off the bat. She tried to play the victim, justifying why she did what she did, and that it was my fault for thinking we didn't need to continue couples therapy after the 6 to 7 months. I took a walk outside for 30 minutes, came back and said I want a divorce. I can't continue punishing myself even though I still love you. Ever since then, I've continued to question myself. My self-esteem has never been this damaged before in my entire life. I believe marriage is sacred because I was raised with that mindset. So now, we are in the process of getting a lawyer to prepare for the divorce process. I'm still trying to process everything, speaking with my friends for support, and so on. Once we are divorced, I plan to tell her family why we divorced rather than her trying to hide the truth, but what do you guys think? Should I? I feel like I should, to ensure they don't believe any lies that may come out her mouth to suit her own agenda. Lastly, 1. Why do cheaters like to play victim the moment they are caught? 2. Why do cheaters blame the betrayed spouse? 3. Why do I question my own sanity when I'm not the one who cheated again? Thank you so much for everyone that took the time to read and share their thoughts. I hope everyone that has moved on is at a better mental state, and is with someone who truly cares and respects you no matter how things unfold.